Muslims, they lie to us always, and they say, yeah, Mary the Copt, she was his wife. In fact, she was never, ever. And actually, this is what the Islamic fatwa here, they are answering the question here, because this is what the question is. Question: there was no doubt that Maria the Copt was a concubine of a messenger of Allah, and she bore him a son is called Ibrahim. By the way, I believe strongly that Muhammad never have a son, and this Ibrahim have nothing to do with Muhammad. This is why Aisha, she many times she said to him, he don't even look like you, don't you can tell? And even Omar, he wanted to kill her cousin Ibn Jurayj, because they suspect it is him who was sleeping with her. The answer: praise be to Allah, as usual. The Prophet, peace be upon him, etc., did not marry Maria the Qibtiyah. Rather, she was a slave girl who was given to him by Al-Muqawqas, the ruler of Egypt. Now, in the video, the guy right away he said, in Islam we have only one source of slavery, which is war. Al-Muqawqas was the ruler of Egypt. He sent Muhammad big, huge gift, many slaves and a lot of gold. So why they lie to us and they say that the source of slavery is only war? This is a book, it's called As-Samat Al-Thamin fi Manaqib Ummahat Al-Mu'minin. This is the book about the mother of the believers. All right, page number 133. It says here, Maria the Qibtiyah, Mary the Copt, the daughter of Sham'un, which means Simon. She was a gift to him from Al-Muqawqas, the ruler of Egypt, the ruler of Alexandria exactly. And he gave him with her sister Serene, and a guy who is his penis is cut off. And the Prophet, he gave Serene to Hassan ibn Thabit, so he is giving a gift, like he kept that one, the beautiful one, and her sister, she is less beauty or more older, he gave her to Hassan ibn Thabit. And not only that, actually, he gave him, let us read together what the gift is. Al-Muqawqas, he sent, the ruler of Alexandria, he sent in the year 7 of Al-Hijrah, which means the 7th year after Muhammad he left Mecca, Mary the Copt and her sister with 1,000 weight of gold and 20 dress, which is most expensive. And he sent him a very spoiled mule, and he sent him a donkey, and some they call him Ya'fur. But by the way, the story of Ya'fur in the book of Ibn Kathir, it says different, that Ya'fur, it was not from the gift, it was from the attack of Khaybar. But here we see that Muhammad, how much he receiving money and gifts and human as gifts. But in the Islamic videos, they say the source of slavery always was and only war. What about Bilal himself? Very famous. You see, I'm trying to use easy reference. Bilal himself was bought. Bilal, the slave of the Prophet, he was bought by Abu Bakr. And Bilal, the poor man, he was begging for his freedom. He converted to Islam, yet they will not free him. To the point, Bilal, he said to Abu Bakr, if you bought me for yourself, then keep me for yourself. But if you have bought me for the sake of Allah, or for Allah's sake, then leave me for Allah's work, or for Allah's sake. Guys, look at this with me. This is the hadith in Arabic. Look how long it is. Please look with me how long it is. Where is the translation? I'm showing you both sides. Huh? I will scroll down. What happened? What happened? We go down more. We go down more. We go down more. More. It's gone. Do you know why it's gone? Because at the end it says that Aisha, she freed 40 slaves. I will look. I need to find the translation. I mean, I'm going to get you busted in English. Hold on. You found it in different place. They tried to find it here, but they forgot to hide it there. This is what? The same Sahih Hadith. Aisha, she swear she will never talk to this man, Abdullah ibn Zubayr. I vow before Allah that I will never speak to Ibn Zubayr. And how Aisha, she fixed that. She made a vow and now she broke it. So look what happened. She spoke to Abu Zubair, she broke her oath, and she freed 40 slaves, for she is breaking her vow. Do you see it, guys? We found it in English, thanks God. And this is Al-Bukhari, and this is Sahih. And by the way, this is the same hadith which we did not find a translation for it here. You see, this is exactly the same hadith, and this is Sahih. You see, the Muslim, they cannot say that this hadith is not Sahih. It's exactly the same one. Fahim, he said to me, in Islam we condemn slavery. Show me the reference. I challenge you. Let me speak to you as Mimi Hijab. Show me. Silence me. We condemn slavery. What a big fat lie. One of the names of your prophet, Ba'i'ul Abid, the slave seller. Not only that, your prophet actually, he used, if somebody he free a slave and he don't like it, he force him to be slave again. And your prophet, he used to have a lot of slaves just for fun, especially from Ethiopia, and those are not from war. Did Muhammad have a war and at the time of Aisha with the Ethiopian? No. So where the Ethiopian slaves are coming from? They bought them. I met Aisha, I asked her about a nabid, making wine. Aisha, she is an expert in wine. That was served to Allah Messenger. Aisha called the Ethiopian slave. You see here they put it servant. This is not a servant, this is a slave. Jariya. And said, ask her about it. For it was he, I mean this is translation, her, not he, who prepared the nabid for Allah Messenger. All of those, look at those Ethiopian slaves playing music for Muhammad. Sahih Muslim. Aisha reported that Abu Bakr came to her and she was with her 2 girls. What kind of girls they are? In Arabic it says jariyatan. In English it says 2 girls, but the fact it doesn't say 2 girls, it says 2 slave girls. وعندها جاريتان في أيام. So do you see it, Muslims? Why in the translation it doesn't say 2 slaves? What happened? The prophet, he have slave girls dancing for him, playing music for him. I thought the music is haram, and the prophet is poor. You see, the prophet, he don't go to the bar to enjoy dancing girls. The bar come to him because he's very poor. All the translation, Islamic translation, is a lie. Look, وعندي جواري, they translate jawari as girls. Jawari is slaves. Yahya related to me from Malik, from etc. from that slave girls of Abdullah ibn Umar used to wash his feet and bring him meat of palm leaves while they were ministrating. Malik was asked whether the man who had women and slave girls should have intercourse with them all before they ghusl, before he wash his private part. He said there's no haram in a man having intercourse with 2 of his slave girls before he does ghusl, a threesome. Where are those slaves coming from? Buying them, those are not kidnapped. And the Muslims were buying and selling slaves for centuries. Actually, until now they have slaves. Mauritania is the biggest slavery country in the world. Libya, they have more than 20,000 African slaves as we speak now, and the world doing nothing about it. Saudi Arabia, you name it. So those girls who sing into the Prophet, who are they? Slaves. It says there, Jawarin. Why you are saying they are just young girls? This is why we say we cannot trust any Muslim explaining or answering about Islam. Like here we find a hadith about captured girls from the Byzantine. They are the blondie women. You know, those are the blondie. The blondie. That's why Muhammad, it says, attack the Romans so we can get the blondie girls. A man, he freed his slave, and he had no other property except that. This is the translation of Muslims, not my translation. I'm not the one saying he's a property. So the Prophet canceled the freedom. Why? What the Prophet did? The Prophet, the guy, he free his slave. Okay, he don't have anything, he owned nothing except the slave. Why Muhammad is intervening? What's the problem? Should everybody have a slave? If I am a person who own a slave and I decide to let him go, why Muhammad intervene and he forced that slave to be a slave again? Is that a da'if hadith? And we can find tons of stories like this. Not only he canceled the freedom, he took the slave and he sold him to a different person. You say to us, we get slaves only from war. The Prophet buying slaves? What he would do with them for? This is for a snack? And there's hadith, there is books, by the way, about how to buy slaves. As an example, if you touch a slave vagina, you have to buy her. And even the heaven of Allah is the heaven of slavery. You go to there, Allah will send 72 slave girls, or a whore. He will enslave them to be sex slaves for eternity in heaven. Look, I found the Islamic website about the ruling about looking at the slaves and touching them in the purpose of buying. Islamweb.net. Let me show you the fatwa number 272938. See it? This is the numbers. What is the ruling about touching slaves for the purpose, looking and touching slaves for the purpose of buying? And here they explain to you what is the purpose. From Ibn Hanbal, he says it is okay if he kissed her, if he wanted to buy. Because she have nothing forbidden in her, and it is allowed. أجاز تقليب الصدر والظهر بمعنى لمسه من فوق الثياب. It's allowed for you, before you buy her, to touch her breast and her back from the top of the cloth. Some of the scholars says it's better not to do that, like, you know, before you buy it. Everything which is about, you are allowed to look from the sleeves of somebody else. It's allowed to touch it. If he like can protect himself from the desire, because you have to wait until you get her home. You can't jump on her in the street. And then he says it is not allowed to touch for the sake of a desire, because you did not buy her yet. She's not yours. See how conservative the Muslims. I mean, after you buy her, you can have sex with her, but now you did not buy her, so why you want to enjoy something is not yours? Haram. Question about the man. He is looking at this, he want to buy a slave. Is it okay to look at her hands? He says, I hope there's no problem with that. And he said, what about her waist and her legs? He says, I don't think that's necessary. From Al-Imam Al-Sarkhasi, he says, if a man he wanted to buy a slave, it's okay for him to look at her hair, her chest, her legs. And if he wish, like if you have a desire, because the purpose of it is buying, and it's not going to be how much is going to be unless he can see. I mean, come on, you want the guy to buy and pay and name the price without checking the product? But in the Muslim video they say to us, no, in Islam we cannot do that, right? And let us look another hadith. There's a hadith we did not mention. Every human being, he is not a Muslim, should be enslaved. This is Sahih al-Bukhari. The verse in the Quran, chapter 3, 110, it says, Islam is a fascist religion, believe that Muslims are a supremacist. Muslims are supreme. You see, they talk about the white supremacist people. The Islam is the same, you know, Nazi, fascist. They think they are the best of mankind, and everyone else should be their slaves. Read carefully. This is Sahih hadith, not da'if, they say to you, and this is explained the Quran. From chapter 3, verse 110, it says, you are the best of mankind. Means the best of the people for the people, as bring them with the chains around their necks until they embrace Islam. And now until they embrace Islam, are they going to be freed? No, not necessarily. Where it says Bilal wasn't freed, here we go. Bilal is begging for his freedom. Show me where it says Bilal was freed. And if Bilal was freed, this is after him begging. But as I know, Muhammad, he never freed Bilal. Muhammad, he died, and Bilal is asking his real owner, which is the one who bought him, Abu Bakr, if you bought me for the sake of Allah, well, free me for the sake of Allah. If you bought me for yourself, then keep me for yourself. Why Bilal is begging for his freedom? And there is no way Bilal is saying that unless he feel that this is unjust. Somebody cheated on him. They told him, if you convert to Islam, we will let you free. And now he is a Muslim. He told him, if you convert and you fight with us. He fought with them. And even Muhammad, he made fun of the look of Bilal, just to show you how Muhammad respect the black people. Do you think raising head as a description is a good description for a black person? Who was a Muslim and explained to us how nice Muhammad is by saying that Bilal is a raising head? And by the way, the Muslims, they always quote for you. They say to you, do you know the last sermon? I challenge any Muslim to show me an authentic source of this story. It's fabricated. The last sermon, Muhammad, he says there's no difference between white and black. Show me where it's coming from. It's the same story. There's a Jewish guy, he used to throw garbage at the house of the Prophet. Show me the story. We cannot find it. It's a lie. This is the books. They keep saying to us, oh, you are bringing us hadith is not accepted. Oh, like only al-Bukhari, we like only a Muslim. And then suddenly they accept books which is not accepted by them. The Prophet said, listen and obey your chief. So Muhammad, he made his slave Bilal a chief in the war. This is just for a war. This is not because he became a master. No, this is a war. He's a black man who have a good body, good fighter, physically very good. So Muhammad, he made him a chief of a group. And those Arab, like, what the heck? An Ethiopian slave is going to be our chief? Muhammad, he said to them, even if he is an Ethiopian, who is his head is like a raisin, where made your chief. You see it? Do you see it, Muslims? Is that a statement of somebody respect black people? There's many of them, by the way. People, they free their slave. Muhammad, he forced them to be slaves again. And yet they say Islam encourages freeing a slave. The man, he don't have other property except this slave. Should he have a slave? I mean, if you don't have a property, so Muhammad now he care for the master, he don't care for the slave, obviously, correct, guys? What the Muslim will say about this? They will say the guy, he don't have any other other property. So what does that mean? That means Muhammad, he care only for the free man to own property. He don't care for the slave man to have his freedom. Which one is more priceless? I mean, the guy, the free man, is a free man at least. He have something. He have his freedom. The slave, he own nothing. Aisha, she freed 40, not because she liked to free slaves, but because she broke an oath. Did you get the point? Otherwise, why they are still slaves until that day? So she broke an oath, and that was the real reason behind the freeing the slaves, not because now she feared Allah will punish her, because now she broke the oath. So how Aisha, and from where she had 40 slaves to free? If in order to free 40, what does that mean? You have 400s, 4,000s, 40 slaves, one shot. And they lie to us. They say that Muhammad was a very poor man. I mean, do you see how poor Aisha she is? If every wife have only 40 slaves, how many slaves Muhammad? But Aisha, she have many. She only freed 40. Let us say this. Assume, which is not a right number, every wife of Muhammad, she have 40. X 13. They have 520 slaves. Only the wives he have. 520 female slaves. By the way, those are females, as some reference claim. They came to the Messenger of Allah and they said to him, women have become emblinded toward their husbands. He, the Prophet, gave a permission to beat them. So if the wife complains about their husbands, we beat them. What if the husband is a garbage guy? Huh? What does that mean? If the wives are complain about their husbands, we beat them. What kind of man? He get paid for sex. That's mean he's a whore. Whore is not only a woman, by the way. Whore can be a man. And actually, the man who sleep with the whore, which means he pay for sex, he's a whore too. But in this case, Muhammad's father is getting paid for sex. As you see, the Prophet even he announced a reward, like the most wanted criminal in Islam is a lizard. And if you kill him from the first shot, Allah will give you top reward. If you kill him from the second shot, Allah will give you half reward. If you kill him from the third shot, that's mean you are stupid Abdul. I mean, what's wrong with you? Either you need to change your glasses or you need to go to training. It's just a lizard. Why you cannot kill him from the first shot? And why this animal is the enemy of Allah? Because when Abraham was in fire, all the animals in the wood, they tried to stop the fire, including the turtle. The turtle was there. The turtle was like so fast, bringing water and spit at Abraham. Bring water from the river, go all the way to the river and come back. All the turtles. And you know, the turtles are the best to work in fire department. So all animals, including Miss Turtle, except Mr. Lizard. Mr. Lizard, he was blowing wind, so he will burn Prophet Muhammad. This is a story related with Prophet Abraham, we know that. But where do you get this story from? Do you really, Abdul, do you really believe that Mr. Geigo, he did that? I mean, don't you think the story is so wide and hard to believe? And by the way, we have to admit, I mean, the Prophet of Allah, he knows stories nobody knows. Actually, the Prophet of Allah is the first one who discovered evolution. I mean, the atheists, they always debate about evolution, right? But the evolution of the Prophet is the opposite. The atheists, they say we used to be something and we became a human. No, the prophet, he have different idea. As an example, the prophet is the first one who discovered that rats, they used to be human and they became rats. Read it, brother. The prophet said a group of the Israeli, the Jews, you know, the Jews. I mean, the Jews always the problem. The Jews. I mean, who is going to do problem except the Jews? Brother, I mean, come on, we have to be honest here. We have to blame the Jews always. So a group of Israeli were lost. Nobody knows what they did. Oops, 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 oops. Hold on, prophet. Even you do not know. I'm really disappointed. I mean, a scientist, a prophet, a knowledgeable. The Muslim, they keep saying to us, Allah and his messengers knows best. And then you say to us, prophet, nobody knows what they did. Brother, don't look at the empty side of the cup. Look at the full one, brother. But the whole cup is empty now. So look at this. A group of Israeli were lost. Okay, who are those groups? We do not know. Where they lost? We do not know. What they did? We do not know. So what is the story? But Muhammad, he is a genius. He says, but I did not see them except they were cursed and they changed into rats. Oh boy. But the prophet here, you notice that the prophet, he analyzes. I mean, he is so deep. If you are a woman and you are single, this is the husband you want. You ask him a question, he study it carefully. He look at your food, what you eat. He study your food. He will be inspired by things you do. He don't take things lightly. Very deep. So the prophet said, I do not know, I don't see them, except that they were cursed and changed into rats. For, now look at the reasoning. The prophet don't say things without giving reasoning. This is scientific conversation. You see, to know if somebody is scientifically speaking to you or not, if he give you the reasoning, this is scientific. If he don't give you the reasoning, it means he's a stupid. So look what the prophet here, he give you the reasoning. For, if you put the milk of she camel in the front of the rat, it will not drink it. But if you put the milk of a sheep, she drink it. So look how smart Muhammad is. Muhammad, he noticed that Jews don't drink she camel. Rats, they don't drink she camel. So obviously those rats used to be Jews. I mean, hello. Unbelievable. Super smart prophet. I mean, this prophet is the most unbelievable, smart, intelligent person in this earth. So now if we put whiskey in the front of a rat and he don't drink it, and we put it in the front of Muslim and he don't drink it, that's mean this guy, he's a Muslim rat, and he used to be human and Allah curse him and make him a rat. I mean, what kind of logic this logic is? Hey Muslims, are you okay? Well, let me tell you the good news. Donkeys don't drink whiskey. So, hello? And donkeys don't eat pork. Hello? Yeah, this is an Orthodox Jewish rat. I mean, how crazy stupid this story is. It's here you see how much he tried to insult the Jews, to put them down, to picture them as very evil people. This is the purpose of the story. It's evil story. This guy, he cannot see the Jews anything except rats and pigs and donkeys and monkeys. Let me introduce to you Jack Shalom. Jack Shalom, do you like to tell us anything about your experience as an ex-Jew? I mean, have you ever heard of a stupid religion believe that a human being, he used to be human, and then Allah turned him into a rat? Hey Jack, how you doing? Habibi, Habibi, Christian friends, Habibi. Hey Jack, how is the life being a rat? Habibi, it's perfect, Habibi. For free, Habibi. We eat for free. We have housing for free. Free insurance. And even the silver brother is for free. Jack, shalom. And how the prophet discovered about you that you used to be a human and now you became a rat? Habibi, the prophet, he's the best Habibi. Habibi, he knows everything. Because we did something wrong. Okay, Jack, what you did? Why Allah he cursed him and he made you a rat? Habibi, because Habibi, Allah he said it's haram to eat something. What is that something? It's like I cannot say the name for you because it's haram to say it too. Really? It's haram to say the name? Yeah, because I'm afraid to say the name again. Allah will curse me again and make me as a Jew. I will go back. Unbelievable. Muslims, you believe in those stories?